Nugo am upmegilis gayutlan lacha wallace quagusludok oboksa Bela Kesla. My name is Mary Everson. My traditional name is Upmegilis. And I'm from the Wallace Quagut in Fort Rupert. My lineage comes from there and in Comox here. I'm just so grateful to get this opportunity to talk to you about who we are as First Nations people here. And it's very important for you to know whose territory you're on. Indigenous people are so diverse across Canada, and we're very special because we have a very close identity with our culture and our traditions. And I just really want you to know that I've had many experiences here, being born here in Comox at the old St. Joseph's Hospital in 1946. So I was just thinking about some of the experiences I've had, and I think the most impactful experience in my life was when my parents built this big house. This big house was built through the dowry from my mom to my dad, and my grandfather, my mom's dad, had wanted her to ensure that they were just grounded in a house, and this house holds our treasure boxes as a family. And these treasure boxes are more valuable than anything on earth to us. And I really am privileged to be part of this family. And I am so proud of my parents for what they've done, and to utilize this for culture and education, for the community, for anyone that needs to express their Indigenous rights and culture. I was raised very culturally. My first language was not English. It was Kwakwala, my mother's language, and I really am grateful for that. But it was a hard time trying to understand English growing up as a little girl. And I went to Comox Elementary, and I went from there to Rob Road to Courtney High, and I'm very grateful for the community and for our community here. Our community is very diverse in many ways because many intermarriages and in different cultures and in different traditions. So they've brought them together, and it makes every community a very unique place to live. One of the experiences in here was this house wasn't built here on the reserve at the beginning. In 1959, when it was built on where the Rotary Bowl is, across from Vanier School. So that's where it was built, because in those times in the 50s, it wasn't, the leadership didn't want it to advertise that this was Indian land or Native land or Indigenous land. They wanted it not to advertise. So I've been through the whole gamut of the repealing of the potlatch bans and using stuff. But the funny thing is, another thing that I remember, I was 3, and the government, Tom Campbell had asked my dad, he was an MP in Ottawa, and he wanted Dad to meet some dignitary, I don't remember who it was, at the airport. And it was the first time I was let out of the house with a blanket on, and that was in 1949. So that was even before the ban was lifted. And so to think that there was a double standard with the government system, you know, that we weren't allowed to practice it, but on their terms we could practice it and show who we were. And so those are the differences that we have today. We're more open about who we are and very proud of who we are. And one of the things that my father said, you know who you are because you were grounded in it from the time you were born. So I really think that we all need to understand our own personal identity in who we are and how we become that person that we stand in front of you. I'm very happy to be here.